Papa Brad coming at you with a quick review of Heroes of Loot and Heroes of Loot 2 on the iiRcade. I'd like to say a quick shout out to Brooklyn Menace who recommended this game to me. Go check out his channel and his great show, The Friday Night Arcade. You get to pick your hero from one of 4 classes: Elf, Warrior, Wizard, and Valkyrie. Have unique stats and weapons. There's also a 5th character you can unlock if you can get far enough in the game. The gameplay is similar to the game Gauntlet. You enter the dungeon with your end goal of finding a key and to reach the exit. There's all kinds of different enemies that you're going to encounter on the way and plenty of treasure or loot to get. There's also secret rooms to find, power-ups to collect, and shops to spend your money, and even some odd side missions to take on here and there in the game. Cool thing about the game is each dungeon is randomly generated, so each time you play the game it's different. That adds an addictive arcade style to the game, and it makes every playthrough different. The more you play the game, the more new content gradually unlocks, such as new enemies or new gameplay features, such as rescuing prisoners in cages. The game also has some small short cutscenes that play, usually making fun of the situation that you're in. And there's some odd pop culture references in the game too, just for good measure. Everything Heroes of Loot does is solid. I mean, the controls are good, the graphics are good, the sounds are simple, but they get the job done. It all runs well and plays great on iiRcade. Didn't really encounter any glitches or bugs while I was playing. Heroes of Loot is a game where you're moving from floor to floor, aiming for a high score, and that's about it. Orange Pixel made a good, fun, easy to learn, easy to play game, similar in the Gauntlet style. Check this one out. And let's move on to Heroes of Loot 2. Here's a quick trailer for the game, showing some of the cool features. Unlike Heroes of Loot 1, you control 2 players at once in this game, and you can switch back and forth between the characters that you've chosen to go through the dungeons. The level design that Orange Pixel has done with this game is great. Every time you play it, it's a little different, which I really like about the game. This game has a lot more end bosses, which I think is fun. I learned to hate these spikes. Those spikes got me a bunch. So the game basically builds on everything that's cool from Heroes of Loot until the graphics get an upgrade. Your unlockables you can get throughout the game. You can access them, which is pretty cool. The game gets insane at the higher levels. And we're going to switch to looking at it on the iiRcade. Here we are on the iiRcade. You can see you can do some adjustments to the sound. There's a couple options. You start by selecting your character. This game has a lot of characters that you can unlock by playing the game. I'm going to show a little bit of my first playthrough, and then I'm going to skip to a playthrough where I got a lot further. So this clip is just going to be a quick show through of the Wizard and I believe the Valkyrie character. Here I am, I'm switching to a playthrough with the Elf and the Warrior. This is around level 8. Just going to show some quick gameplay clips of what some of the gameplay looks like. In my opinion, this game pretty much surpasses Heroes of Loot 1 pretty much in every way. The only thing I like about Heroes of Loot 1 is it does stick with just the one-player format, which makes it feel a little bit more like Gauntlet. But I feel like this game overall is a little better. Here we go, we got a boss, Flamehead. And, you know, your standard Robotron circling strategy. It's going to work pretty well. Boss was almost the end of Papa Brad. This was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Being a roguelike, all levels and enemy placements in this game are randomly generated. So pretty much every time you play it, you're going to get something new. And when you die, you're going to want to go back and play it one more time. I mean, the goal of the game is really to get through all 50 levels without dying, which is going to be quite a task. Because at around level 20, you have a massive difficulty spike, and things get a lot harder. Levels are always tons of different enemies, including devils, skull monsters, and even minotaurs when you get further on. There are plenty of rooms with traps and spikes, and an occasional puzzle to solve. To unlock the characters, you collect cards. If you collect all the cards, you unlock the character. Unlocking the characters does give you a reason to go back and play through the game to try to get more characters unlocked. Overall, Heroes of Loot 2 is just a huge improvement from the first game, in my opinion. The first game is more retro. This is a much funner game. Switching between the characters, I think, was a huge improvement. This is by far my favorite Orange Pixel game that I have played. Really enjoying it. I'm sure I'm going to go back to it. So I'm going to give it a super high recommendation. This is pretty much a must-have if you have iiRcade. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. This has been Papa Brad reminding you to stay legit.